So, Groundhog Day Part 2, where I discuss another topic which I was talking about yesterday but has moved on. So, after the union meetings yesterday, Labour has now shifted its position again, and Jeremy Corbyn has described Labour in an interview as the party of choice. All sounds very nice, but people choose when they vote for a candidate, or more usually the party that a candidate represents. The idea is that the candidate, or the party on their behalf, is supposed to tell us what they intend to do if they are given power, and then we choose whether or not that is worth our vote. So a party that says they will give people a choice is not actually giving them a choice at the ballot box. So it all sounds a bit grim, but I'm rather upbeat about all this. It is just another step on the path to Labour returning to its roots of supporting British workers, their jobs, their homes, their families and their living standards, after years of being an accomplice to the devastating effects of this illegal Brexit campaign in our country to its inhabitants. Yes, Jeremy Corbyn is not moving as quickly as many would like, and certainly not as quickly as I would like. I mean, I didn't even want him in the position he was in all this time. But he hasn't stopped moving. He's still plodding along in that direction, away from Brexit and towards Remain. And to be fair, as he is a Brexiteer, you have to at least respect that. Yes, I worry that it's taking too long to provide the clarity that will have people supporting Labour in large numbers again. But we do now have the solid promise. While Labour are not in government, as is the case right now, they are utterly committed to backing a public vote with Remain as an option, and they will campaign to Remain. That is now party policy in very certain terms. What is less certain is what the party's position is should they form a government. And that is important, don't get me wrong, that's very important, because they need to form policies. What for? So they can win polls? No, polls are useless. So they can actually do well in a general election. So they are going to have to sort that out. But the fact that they're not saying what that policy is right now is also a good thing, even though it sounds terrible. Hear me out. There is no doubt that this change in party policy is the result of pressure from within his own parliamentary party, of course, but that's been there for a long time building. But it's from the unions that I spoke of yesterday as to why this announcement has been made today. It's from those unions, including his staunch ally, or perhaps puppet master, if you like, Len McCluskey. And what those unions wanted in the event of Labour forming a government was to negotiate a Brexit deal and campaign for that in a public vote. Though even then they said that the vote should have Remain as an option. Now, if Corbyn had said what the party's policy is regarding winning a general election, in other words, what would you do in government, it would have been that union statement, which effectively means still trying to go ahead with Brexit. So by being coy about what Labour would do at this point, he's giving time for Labour members, whether unions or ordinary guys like me or even MPs, time to persuade him to drop Brexit altogether. Stop kicking the dead horse. It's dead. It may even be that he didn't pronounce his policy specifically because he's been pulled in two different directions. Some wanting him to pursue a Labour Brexit, the Lexit, whatever the hell that is. But some want it binned altogether. Keeping it under wraps for now allows time for compromise to come forward, or for one side to just back down and give it up as a bad job. If a general election looks likely this autumn, it will have to be determined. The party will have to produce a manifesto and set out clearly what they would do in government. And something that isn't lost on anybody, Corbyn himself I'm sure, is that they won't be able to form a government if they don't get this decision right. Now, September is the party conference, and he won't want to be seen to be ignoring that by stating such an important policy right now before members have had a chance to vote on it. I mean, yeah, I'd still prefer that he put forward the twin proposals to the full membership, not just people who go to the conference, and go with the majority, which he is resisting. I also wish he hadn't said today in the interview that he still respects the referendum. It was one thing to say in 2017, but quite another after all the illegality has now surfaced. It may also be useful, by delaying it, to see how the polls react to this little bit of news, that Labour has now officially committed to a public vote with Remain as an option and, at least this side of the general election, campaigning to Remain as well. None of this cobblers about the party split on this matter. It's campaigning for Remain. I don't expect him personally to do that with any more energy than he did in 2016, but there are now others who will do so who did also not do a very good job back then. So I'm okay with that. And to conclude, I will just remind people of what I've been saying every time I've discussed this topic. This is a journey. He is moving along a path from Brexit to Remain. He's already taken several small steps over the past month or so. This week it was a significant step, but it's still just another step. There's no reason to believe that he's stopped moving. No reason to believe that this journey is over. By the time the general election is called, whenever that is, I have full confidence that the position will be clear and in line with what people will want to vote for. And for all those who will want to keep posting the comments about how we lost in 2016 and that we should just give in, I say that giving in is what losers do. I will never give in until the game really is lost. It's what won Man United the Champions League in 1999, and it is what will win our relationship with the EU, the wider world, and with our own sanity. Thanks very much. I hope you liked the video. If you did, don't forget to click the like button, subscribe for further content. Until next time, I'll see you later.